Living Local Carolina with Katie Turner. Local trends, shopping, dining, and more. This is Living Local Carolina.
Thanks for joining us today on Living Local Carolina. I am joined by Joshua. You are a self-proclaimed indie manga creator.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
All right, we got to get down to the bottom of this. Tell everybody what you do and how you got into this in the first place.
So me being an indie manga creator, I've always liked anime, superhero stuff growing up. That was my main inspiration. But then I always had these ideas, like as I was going through things growing up, that I would watch movies and I was like, I could make that better. So in my head, I would like make these movies with my own characters and I'll be sitting in class just daydreaming about these movies that I'm making in my own head. Eventually I started making an idea for some concepts for a manga, and I really didn't act on it until the passing of my mother before college, because my mom passed away then, probably 2 weeks after one of my older brothers passed away. That was kind of what, I know that, I know how that's, but sometimes, you know, there's a blessing in the lesson, and in that lesson, it propelled me into acting on the things that my mom believed in me in doing. So I started with the manga. I really didn't get into after the college, where I felt like I could draw, but I wanted to draw everything myself. But I then took a course where someone was like, hey, if you can, get out of the way so somebody else can do it, because I'm looking at another 2 years if I try to learn how to do the manga style. So with that, I started on doing it. Started going to conventions, and I would first kind of pick people's brains. One of my early mentors, he was surprised because I just asked him, hey, can I get your number? Can I, reach out to you if I need anything? And I was asking him 6 months later, I'm messaging him, I'm like, hey, guess who's gonna be at the same convention that you were at? And he was surprised. From there, I was just hitting it boots to the ground. And I've done PowerCon, which is a local one for Florence. I've done, I believe, I did the Grand Strand one that's down here, the Grand Strand Comic Con. And then I recently did LA Comic Con. So
that's big.
That was a condensing of the timeline of how we got here. But my main project, there was one time I had a dream, and it was about Camgechi. And I then started to connect the dots after I had that dream. I took a Gullah Geechee business course, and they were trying to tie in what I do into the course. They were like, why don't you do a Gullah Geechee story? And I was like, why don't I do a Gullah Geechee story? That's a good point. And I started connecting it, and then that's when all of this came about. And from here, I mean, this is starting to be one of the stories that, despite my main project is doing good, but as people start to hear about Camgechi, they're like, we want this.
Yeah.
So that's why we're here right now.
So you're building this world that is completely tied to your own culture.
Yes.
What has the response been so far when you tell people about this?
There's more of a surprise, actually, because no one's doing it.
Yeah.
I go to a lot of these conventions and I ask people, about Gullah Geechee culture, and I even talk about how a lot of African Americans don't realize here in America, 80% of us have some type of Gullah Geechee lineage, but yet they don't know that they have this lineage. So when I bring up the concept of Camgechi, I have been quizzed a little bit, but I'm doing my best as I'm learning about my own history, that I'm, putting it into the story. So that's kind of the fun part about it, is taking something that I found out about Gullah Geechee culture and finding a way to twist it and putting it into the story.
It's very unique.
Very unique.
It's very cool what you do. I'm very excited to see where this goes. How can people stay updated with everything that you're doing so they can get that drop the second that it's ready?
Good question. So I have my Instagram that is @_no retreat, no surrender. That's the name of my main project, is No Retreat, No Surrender. My email is missyoujoshua@gmail.com.
Remind me of the Instagram name again.
@_no retreat, no surrender.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today on Living Local Carolina. If your love language is gifts, you definitely want to listen up to this one because I'm joined with Tammy. You are from Gifts from the Heart.
Yes, I am.
What a great name.
Thank you, thank you.
And it really is exactly what you do. We have all these props to show what exactly you do, but explain it to me and what our viewers can do to help what you guys do.
Okay, Gifts from the Heart is an organization I started in 2018 when my mom was diagnosed with dementia. And when I went to visit her in the nursing home, I realized that there's so many residents in there that don't have family members to come and visit them. And it just broke my heart. So I decided that I want them to know they're not forgotten. So during all the holidays, Valentine's Day, Easter, Christmas, Mother's Day, Father's Day, I go and I give to residents in nursing homes with dementia and Alzheimer's. You know, I give them these items, which are everyday items that they need. That way they know they're not forgotten, even though they're not going to remember me from one minute to the next, which is fine, as long as they know that they're not forgotten.
I think it's really awesome what you do, and sometimes it's the littlest things that make such a difference in someone's day.
Yes, just to see the smile on their faces, it makes me so happy. It does.
So how have things gone over the last couple of years? I'm sure people have started donating to you.
They do donate, which is very nice because I work out of my home, and we're in really dire need of certain items like blankets. The residents need blankets.
Okay, blankets.
Socks, shampoo, cream rinse, deodorant. We also do fidget blankets, which you have on your lap. Residents, they like to, with dementia and Alzheimer's, they like to fidget a lot. So they like to touch items that feel different to them in texture. So, and we have these items for them, but we're mainly in need of everyday items. And they love puzzles with big pieces that they can hold. And they love their snacks. They love chocolate and little soft peppermints. Items like that we're in need of.
Well, today I am joined by Cecile Walks Peace, an author. I am so happy to talk to you today. How are you doing?
Same here. I'm great. I'm blessed. Thank you for having me.
Well, this is such a treat. We're going to be talking about your book, Gigi's Gems, that you just released this year. This was a huge deal.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it was.
Tell me, there's a story behind this.
There's a story behind Gigi's Gems. Gigi's Gems is loosely based on my mom, Irma Walks, and her bout with dementia. So the story, Gigi's Gems, is a children's picture book, beautifully illustrated by Cameron Wilson, and it's about 3 children and their great-grandmother, their queen, Gigi.
I love it, I love it. So tell me, what was your inspiration to start writing this book? You've been an author for quite some time, right?
I have. So I've done some ghost writing on a few projects, both here and also on the continent of Africa with some friends. And now it's just an opportunity for me to release Gigi's Gems, pretty much to just tell the story of how dementia is affecting our family, to allow our children to have an opportunity to talk about some tough topics.
Tough topics that you illustrate and talk about beautifully, but tell me, how do you make that palatable for children?
So one of the things about children is that if you give them the opportunity to understand, if I can understand it, then with my teaching background, I've been able to teach them how to understand tough topics. So oftentimes it's just an opportunity to empower them, and in this particular story, the children are trying to unlock Gigi's memories. And they find that they have to dig a little bit deeper than just on the surface of Gigi's favorite times with them. And it's the youngest one that finds the key to unlock those memories.
Oh,
yes.
Very interesting. All right, so tell me, for anyone who wants to read this book, where can they purchase it?
They can purchase this book, Target, Amazon. It's purchased online. It's also at Black Sugar and Spice Books. It was picked up as well there. And so it's an online purchase.
And if people want to stay, with you while you write more books in the future, social media?
Yes, social media. Find me on IG as well as on our website, walksinpeace.com.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today on Living Local Carolina. One thing I love about this show is I get to have a lot of firsts, and today I have, for the first time ever, a tattoo artist in the studio. Jerica, how are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you for having me.
Okay, we've been talking for a little bit, and you obviously are a tattoo artist. We're going to talk about that, but you just are an artist in general.
Right.
How did you first get into the arts in the first place?
So first it started, back in 4th grade. I was, a child, and I started dabbling in just drawings and doodles, and I realized I was pretty good. I tried to impress a few people, and they loved the feedback from me giving them like art drawings and gifts, and so from there it stuck with me all the way to adulthood. And now that's just like my career. That's what drives me. That's where I am.
Yeah, I can tell that you're very passionate about this.
Yes.
So where did the tattooing begin?
So I started off background graphic design, graduated for, did 2 years associates and bachelors for graphic design work. But after college, I wasn't really into, the professional corporate business type work. I'm more of like, freelance, more of like a laid back type of artist. So I kind of wanted something that was more hands-on, but not so, professional and direct and corporate. So I wanted to transfer that and my energy into, tattooing. People love my work and they want it on their body. So I was like, let me try that. After college, I was like, let me channel that, see if I can get into it. And I just started, dealing with mentors, doing my research, getting classes and getting certified to become an artist.
Yeah, it's got to be a little daunting at first.
It is. It was very scary. Very scary because people, this is life lasting. It's on people's skin, and you want it to be great. You want your artwork to what you can do on paper to reflect on skin. So that's where the transition comes in. It's kind of hard trying to master that, but if you can do it, once you can, and you can draw, once you master that and you get the technique down, it's like butter. So yeah.
That's so cool. It's got to be really satisfying too to be able to see everyone's reaction to it.
Yes.
Do you have a specific style? Doesn't every tattoo artist
They
have a
do,
specific
and honestly,
style?
yeah, they do. Honestly, tattoo artists do like to stick to a style. They like to see what they master or what they do better in. But me, I wanted to go into this business not being put in a box. I hate being in a box. Like, you're not gonna just come to me for black and gray or traditional. I like to do everything. So I definitely have tried to work on, I have a wide variety of styles that I try to work on, and I perfect everything. So from typography to, I love doing portraits. I love color pieces. I love color. Anything with color. I'm a colorful person, so I try to encourage my clients to get color. And then, just from there, they just try to, we bounce ideas back and forth, and I try to be as creative as possible.
I love it. I love it. And talking about creativity here, you do stuff outside of tattooing as well.
Yes.
Can you tell people what else what are you up to?
So right now, this last past year, I've been dealing with mixed media. So doing canvas pieces and going to pop-up art shows in different states to sell and be a part of these art shows. You know what I'm saying? So I've been doing 3D art, things that have textures and layers, and I've been playing with epoxy resin that people are familiar with. Yes. So with that, it allows me to have these pieces that should be in like an exposition but I'm selling them so they can have it in their houses and keep it as pieces and remember me that. So, and they're large canvases, you know what I'm saying? They're not small, they're like, wall pieces. Yeah. And then also this year I am channeling into doing flooring, epoxy resin flooring, and like countertops for like businesses and houses. So anything dealing with epoxy resin, I try to get my craft into that a little better and, perfect that so I can see where that goes.
Yeah, you can do a little bit of everything.
Right, I try to.
Love it.
I try to be a jack of all trades.
I love it. Okay, how can people get in contact with you, learn a bit more about you?
Yeah. So I do have a social media as well. I'm on many platforms. Instagram, that is at official_tatted by Jerry. And then I advertise on Facebook, Tatted by Jerry. And then also I have email, jsgraphics93@gmail.com. And then I do have my business line, my phone number. Did you want that as well?
Yeah,
so
sure,
843-534-7434. And that's all my information there.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me today.
Don't forget to like our page on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. How to use the QR code. Just open the camera app on your smartphone, iPad, or tablet. Point your device at the QR code so the QR code appears on your screen. Your device will recognize the QR code and show you a notification. Click that notification and you'll come to our website. Living Local Carolina, weekday mornings at 9:30 on WBTW News 13.